Do you think young people have enough provided for them in their communities? And what do you think should be provided for young people in their communities?
Kate, who would you like to answer that question?
This question is for the whole table.
The whole table, right, so we'll start with you, Connie, okay?
Well, I suppose, what I was going to say there on the last question is that you have a whole range of solutions, ideas, answers yourselves. And really, I mean, just getting us all here today, I suppose, is one proactive way of trying to nail down a few things that, you know, you feel quite strongly about. In terms of the services locally, I think there's an awful lot more can be done. I think it's reflective of the government of the day, the amount of funds that was given towards this facility for a start. But it has been done, and it has been achieved by the community and the better good of the community. I think that you're looking for. I think though that you're looking for much more than that. I think you've referred to an awful lot of things, and as I mentioned earlier, you know, there are commonalities, there are common interests among us all. And as young people, this is where, you know, your minds are open, your interests have to be developed, and your ideas have to be explored. And I think that that can be done through arts and culture, through interest in politics, through fashion, through design, through, you know, all of those things. And I think that's where the funding needs to be made available through youth projects, etc. And I'd just like to finally say that I would be very happy if I am successful on the 26th in this election. I'd be very happy in the years to come to step aside and let himself there take over.
Brilliant.
And that's where I'd love to see the young
Connie.
Jim, before anyone else answers that, can I just let you know that Kate is actually from Westmeath, that magical county with millions of facilities, according to everyone at the table. But geographically, we're a huge county. There might be facilities in Athlone. Some of our young people are an hour and a half from Athlone and still living in Westmeath, so just bear that in mind.
Okay, Malcolm, sorry.
So I mean, the answer's so wide, because it's, you know, every young person wants different, whether it's sport, whether it's arts. But there's one way that we could have a way more direct responsibility and control of our government. You know, there's quite a few parties now are advocating for the first time direct democracy. They all have a different system. Basically, rather than us just, let's say we all get the vote at 16, okay? Rather than us only having to choose that every 4 or 5 years, having that power, that 100,000 people come together and you can put a referendum to the government. If that gets in, and the Green parties are doing, but quite a lot of the other parties are advocating for this, direct democracy with internet and things, this is getting a lot easier. Then you just get 100,000 kids together for anything you believe in, which is possible on Facebook, and use control it, So try and get your brothers or your parents or everyone else's sisters to vote for the parties that are bringing in some form of direct democracy.
Okay. I'm just conscious again, sir, I'm going to continue down the line here, okay, because I know that you all want to ask questions.
Yeah, well, I want to talk to Kate first, is it? Kate?
Kate at the end, yeah.
You have to decide, I know you're young, but you have to decide what you want. And can I give you a small piece of advice? I've done it. Look in the mirror when you go out, before you go out every morning, and tell yourself what you're going to do to better your situation on a daily basis, and then talk to your colleagues and your friends to try and do that. Because you're not going to get money coming unless someone can make money off you. Now, getting together to put pressure on your local politicians for funding is a good way to do things, right? You know, I've worked all over the world for 30 years in aviation services as a consultant. And I've seen kids your age. I made it my business to go out into the places where I worked to see how people live. You've got an awful lot more than most of the world. You know, you have a great situation here now. That doesn't mean that you're not getting neglected. But you only get neglected. One thing the rule is, if you lie down, you're going to get walked down. So look in the mirror every morning, no matter what else you ever do in your life, and say, I'm going to make it better for myself today. And if you all did that, and you have a common interest, then you can put together a proposal for your local representatives to go and get funding for you and prove that the funding or that your proposal has value. That gives you a sense of purpose. And that's very important for people your age.
Thanks, Donald. Okay, I'm just moving down the line here. The girl in the checkered...